What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another episode of the Premier League Perspective, where we take a look at the weekend's games and react to our Predict the Prem episode from last week. This week we're also coupling up the perspective with an episode of Predict the Prem for the midweek game, seeing as we've got non-stop content coming for you this week. The way the scoring works, it is 5 points for completely correct scoreline, 1 point for correct result, and star man, as well as once you pick one man, you cannot pick them again for the remainder of the season, and it's 5 points for a goal, 1 point for an assist, 3 points for an assist, sorry. And the way the scoring is at the moment, it's 24 to Sim, 22 to me, and let's see how we got on this week. So let's start off with Southampton against Man United, which finished 1-0 to Man United at St Mary's. Sim went 2-2, I went 2-1 to Man United, so 1 point comes my way in for this game. What do you make out of it? Really nice goal from Bruno. Yeah,
Bruno scored a nice goal. I think United maybe a bit fortuitous to come away with all 3 points, but they'll probably see it from their point of view as a pretty professional win. I think Southampton, from their point of view, had a few presentable chances which they couldn't put away. Nothing too amazingly clear-cut, but a few opportunities which on another day could have gone in. Man United had that amazing period of play in the first half, didn't they, where they were like, it was I think Bazoon who made 3 point-blank saves in a row, which they'll feel they should have scored from. Yeah. And then obviously Bruno rounded it off in the second half with a nice volleyed finish, but it wasn't scintillating from United. I wouldn't say they didn't deserve the win, but it wasn't a brilliant performance by any stretch.
Yeah, I mean, the way I looked at it, it was like, I thought Man U was slightly better than Southampton, so I felt like they did just about edge it for me in terms of deserving of the performance. But I also, with Man United, they don't do this for 90 minutes, but when they do click in gear and they start their passing movement up top and their like nice fluid play from their front three, I really like the way they're playing. I really am starting to see what they're trying to do there at Man United.
They still look vulnerable at the back.
No, definitely that. Very but vulnerable. You know, Lisandro Martinez put in a man the match display again.
Yeah, he played quite well, to be fair to him. I still think there are moments where he struggled, but yeah, he kept a clean sheet. Shea Adams didn't get on the score sheet, but there were a few moments where Southampton will be a bit disappointed they didn't do better from the opportunities.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. 24-23 to Sim. Let's move on to Brentford against Everton, which finished 1-1 on the day. We both went for 2-0 to Brentford, and on the balance of play, Brentford definitely should have won this game. Everton took the lead against the run of play, and then Brentford snatched one back, but I think that definitely Brentford had the better of this game.
Yeah, man, the chances they missed were incredible. Tony hit the post. Mbuemo had a series of opportunities he put wide. Wissa missed some point-blank range. Corners galore, they were getting chances. I think Everton will definitely feel lucky they walked out of there with a point. First half, though, you know, Anthony Gordon obviously got on the score sheet, put them 1-0 up. But obviously after that, it was all Brentford, and they were unlucky not to win.
Yeah, 100%. As we move on to the Brighton-Leeds game, which finished 1-0 to Brighton on the day. Both of us going for 1-1, so neither of us getting any points in this one. What did you make out of this one? Because I didn't get to see much of it.
Yeah, I was watching a bit of it. Brighton were for the better team. They nullified Leeds. Leeds had a few chances on the counter-attack, but Brighton were dominating possession. It was a very controlled game for Brighton. You see it a lot from them. They they get a lot of games where it's very close. There's only 1-0 either side, or it's a 0-0. And it's because they're just very good at keeping the ball. And it was the same this time. And Pascal Gross kept up his very good start to the season with a really nice finish across the keeper. Leeds will be disappointed they didn't get on the score sheet because they did miss a few chances. And especially Aronson had a few really good opportunities to either get an assist or get a shot off. And he missed the opportunities. But Brian have a fantastic start to the season. It continues here.
Yeah, and I've been seeing an XG map of all the teams, and it looks, I think Brighton have conceded the least XG out of anyone throughout the whole season, and it bears out as well because they've only conceded one in the first 4 games, which is very much credit to them, credit to Graham Potter, the way he sets them up. And like you say, Pascal Groves, I think he's got a goal contribution in 3 out of the 4 games so far. So he's had an amazing start to the season. So the Brighton good start to the season continues. games. Let's move on to Chelsea against Leicester. 2-1 to Chelsea on the day. Sim went for 2-0. I went for 2-1, so 1 point to Sim and 5 points to me on the day, which, you know, some could say it was kind of fortunate with Chelsea going down to 10 men and Leicester not really capitalising on that.
Well, they should have, because they had the chances.
Yeah.
On another day, Vardy gets a hat-trick in this game. Jose Perez hits the bar. They had a host of chances in that second half, and for love nor money, it just wouldn't go in. Vardy just seemed like he missed 3 chances where last season, or even all seasons gone by, he gobbles them up, and it's 3 easy goals. But it just seemed a bit off it with his finishing, and he had 3 really good chances with time as well to get it on target, and he just couldn't get it past Mendy. From the game's point of view, it was, I think Chelsea were on top before the red card, and Leicester weren't really in the game, but it was still 0-0. Chelsea had a penalty which was overturned because of an offside, and then the red card came. Conor Gallagher was putting in challenges left, right, and centre, and he got punished for it in the first half. But there's second half.
He got 2 yellow cards in the space of 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was like a bull in a china shop. He was a bit all over the place. Second half comes and you're thinking Leicester are going to kick on, but within 15 minutes it's 2-0 to
within 2
Chelsea.
minutes.
No, what I'm saying, they got 2 goals quite early on.
Right. Yeah.
First goal was a heavy deflection from outside the box, a bit of luck there. But the second goal, really nice attack, counter attack, and Reece James on the overlap, and Sterling moved quicker than the Leicester defender, and all of a sudden it's 2-0, and you're thinking, how are Leicester opened up so easily when they were a man advantage? But immediately after that happened, they get back in the game. Harvey Barnes scores, really nice finish at the near post, and then you're thinking they can get back in this, and then I think Chelsea will. I think from their point they're going to be very happy winning with 10 men like that. You've got to be delighted, but Leicester missed so many chances. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And Chelsea will be delighted, but they'll definitely feel lucky that they walked away with 3 points, because Leicester should be absolutely hitting their heads against the wall. How they haven't got a point at least.
What's your opinion on Brendan Rodgers and how long he's got left? Do you think he's a ticking time bomb at the moment, or do you think he'll keep his job?
It's difficult, man. Fafana's gone now. I don't know who they're getting in to replace him. No, it doesn't. Tielemans likely to leave before the deadline at this point as well. We don't know what's going on with him. Although he started in this game, he actually played really well, to be fair. Tielemans setting up chance after chance for Vardy, but he couldn't put it away. And that's another thing. If Vardy's going off the boil now, Daka and Inacho never been the most prolific just yet. He could be in real trouble, Rodgers. It could be a few weeks. Give it a few weeks if he's not getting the results. There's already rumours that he's on the edge. But the problem is, I don't know if he solves the problems, him going. I don't know if it's one of those where it's a band-aid and things get worse before they get better for Leicester. If they're going to sack him, they need to have a plan as to who they're bringing in.
The fact of the matter is, they haven't signed anyone this window, and that can't really be forgiven, to be honest.
The only person I can think of who comes in and who I would sack him for would be Poch. If it's not going to be Poch, I don't know who's going to represents a massive upgrade.
Graham Potter, potentially?
Why would he move right now?
He's had a great start with Brighton, but you've got to say Leicester are a bigger club. You would say have more money in the transfer window, where they haven't signed anyone.
Why would do it just after the window? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Might as well stay at Brighton until the
Spurs job comes available.
I understand if right beginning of the transfer window in June or something said, look, we're sacking Rodgers, we're going for Potter, and then Potter takes it. But the window's just finished. He's just done all his planning for Brighton. Leicester in a mess. Why would he just jump ship like that? It wouldn't make sense to me. And Potter doesn't seem the type to do that.
Yeah, I probably agree with you there. But anyway, let's move on to Liverpool against Bournemouth, as Liverpool got their first win of the season, a 9-0 victory at Anfield against Bournemouth. Sim went 3-0, I went 2-0, so we both get a point there. And if I would have told you before the weekend that Liverpool would have won 9-0 and Mo Salah didn't get any goal or assist in this game, you would have probably think I'm talking crap. But Bobby Firmino, 3 assists and 2 goals. Bloody hell, what a performance he put in. And Bournemouth are struggling. Bournemouth are struggling.
Big time. That's now what, 2-0, that's what, 3-0, 4-0 and 9-0 against Arsenal, City and Liverpool. They're getting blown away. Look, to be fair, it is 3 of the top teams in the league, but still, 9-0 does not bode well, does it?
No.
Especially given all the talk around them being the big strugglers this season. The fact they're losing 9-0 in a game like that is especially against the Liverpool side, who are not even on great form as well. That's really, really bad.
Did you see that tweet from Southampton after the game?
Yeah.
Walk
alone or something.
No, they tweeted to Bournemouth saying, "Do you need some advice or something?"
Yeah, no, they said because they lost 9-0 as well.
Twice,
yeah. But yeah, look, they're going to go down, aren't they? I really can't see them staying up. Their squad is so short of quality. Like a newly promoted team, I tell you why it's even worse for them to lose 9-0, because especially early on in the season, they should be full of adrenaline, full of energy, like throwing themselves in front of things and stuff like that. Like a Premier League teams, if they're like Leicester lost 9-0 because they were down to 10 men and all those scenarios. Like a newly promoted team. Yeah. I mean, sorry, Southampton. Bournemouth, like they should not be losing 9-0 if every player is of the required quality, putting in 100%. That should not be happening. So the fact that even at this early stage they're getting found out so badly is big alarm bells from Scott Parker for me.
Yeah.
And they're in trouble, massive trouble.
How mad is it that Bournemouth won a game before Liverpool did this season?
Yeah, and then they're 9-0 down, and they lost 9-0. Shows as well. Steven Gerrard lost to this team, man, with Villa. I mean, that goes to show.
Yeah, we'll talk about Steven Gerrard in Villa in a second, but let's get on to Man City and Crystal Palace next. 4-2 on the day, and a really good game of football. Sim went 2-1 to City. I went 2-0, so we both get a point there. Crystal Palace go 2-0 up within 20 minutes in this game, and the second goal, I didn't watch the first 10 minutes, but the second goal was definitely against the run of play. I mean, City had taken control and they get a set piece up the other end and score it. And then the rest is history. They go in 2-0 at half time. And then Erling Haaland finally shows up, scores a hat-trick in that second half. And Bernardo Silva as well carried on in his good form. But Erling Haaland, man, 8 touches throughout the game, scores 3 goals.
That's how he does it.
It's unbelievable. This guy is unbelievable. He has no build-up play whatsoever. He is just like something I've never seen before inside a football box.
Just a goal machine. He can, but it's because of his physicality, his pace, his power, his strength. That makes him so hard to play against. But the only way to nullify him really is keep him in a low block as much as possible and try and block his shots and restrict him. But it's difficult, man. The only positive is that he doesn't get involved in much of the build-up play, so he isn't as involved in the game. But once he does get involved, it's nearly impossible to stop him. Look, Palace always go away and cause some problems. Happens every year. And I thought without Zaha, it'll be a bit easier for City, but from set pieces, they Stone's own goal and an Anderson goal, and all of a sudden they're 2-0 down. And what do you think of that third goal? Have you seen it? That should have been that was ruled out. Edison bowls it out.
Oh yeah, remind me. Go on.
Edison bowled it out and it hit Ayew intercepted it, and they ruled it out for a foul.
Yeah, I don't remember it, to be honest. I think I was watching the Liverpool game at that point.
No, it's been a big talking point over the weekend. Edison basically bowled out.
I didn't actually see that.
He threw out he had the ball in his hands and he bowled it out to pass it, and Ayew sticks his leg out to block the pass, and he blocked it, and it fell to Edouard blocked it, and it fell to Ayew, and he scored the empty net, and the referee blew his whistle for a foul.
A foul on Edison. What? Why?
Because the law states that you can't interfere with a goalkeeper while he's making a pass or something.
I see. So,
but he didn't foul the keeper though. He just blocked the pass as it was being bowled out.
But he interfered with the keeper.
Yeah, but that's like saying Karius in the Champions League final should have been ruled out.
I don't know. I mean, if the rule states it, the rule states it. Maybe that Karius one should have been ruled out then.
No, but it shouldn't.
The rule states it.
No, but no. It's like Henry, that famous one with Brad Friedel, where when he takes the ball out of Friedel because he's about to kick the ball. And he puts in the empty net. That was rightfully ruled out because he's in the process of making a pass, right, or making a kick. But this one, he'd already passed it. The ball had left his hand.
Oh, I see.
So he'd already.
It's hard for me to comment because I haven't seen it. But
he didn't intercept it while Edison still had it. The ball had released, and he only blocked the pass. And then, so for me, I think a Man City goal.
So VAR went back and checked it and said
no,
it was...
they couldn't because the referee blew his whistle before the ball went in the net.
Right. Okay.
So
I hate this whole VAR rule. But anyway.
So I think City were lucky not to be 3-0 down, to be honest.
They probably still would have come back anyway.
But yeah, look, it shows mentality there to come back from 2-0 down, and they've stayed patient. It would have been easy to panic, and they ended up winning 4-2 and 2-0 down. Even at home to Palace, as Palace side who they know have beaten them before. I think they stopped them from scoring twice last season. That is an impressive feat, even a Palace side without Zaha.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the 5:30 kickoff at the Emirates. 2-1 to Arsenal against Fulham. Sim went 3-1, I went 3-1, so we both get a point there. And what do you say? Do you think Arsenal were a bit fortunate here? I mean, they deserved the win, but fortunate in the way they scored their goals.
Yeah, I think they were the better team. I think they were unlucky to be 1-0 down, in all honesty. Fulham didn't really...
What is Gabriel doing there?
Yeah, well, Gabriel was just taking his life in his own hands with that, what he was doing, and it cost him. Obviously, they conceded Mitrovic. And then also, to be fair, after they scored Fulham, they looked to be a bit more in the game, but... Arsenal, I think, made the change, brought on Nketiah, and he did change the game. I have to admit, he came on and made a real difference. Gave him another threat up front, and they started creating chances again. And to be fair to them, they didn't look. They created chances, nothing like there's no serious chances, but they created a few really promising openings, and then they get two fortuitous goals and they end up winning the game. I think from their point of view, they deserve that. You make your own luck and you deserve it. From Fulham's point of view, it was a deflection and a really poor piece of keeping from Leno, missing his punch, and also it hit Saliba's hand before falling to Gabriel, so it was a very messy goal. So that's really unfortunate from Fulham's point of view. But I don't think I can have too many complaints, because I think Arsenal at the end of the day had the better chances. And probably deserved the victory in the end. But from Fulham's point of view, they did keep them a bit at arm's length for a lot of the game.
There was also a good opportunity for Fulham really late on at 2-1 to Arsenal, which they definitely should have capitalised on. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. But this is definitely Arsenal's poorest showing of the season so far. And without Thomas Partey in the middle, it shows that once one player goes out of the team, that they are lacking. And I think if they would have come up against a better team, they might have been found out a bit here. But it's a bit of a constant theme now with Fulham, playing well but not getting the points on the board.
Yeah, well, they're the first loss of the season for a new promoted side. Still
no, it's good, but they've drawn games which they probably deserve to have won.
Yeah, they have, and they're still playing well. And you've got to say, going away to Arsenal was never easy, and I think they've done very well to give a good account of themselves. Could have got a point or something if it wasn't for a late mistake, so they'll be annoyed. And Mitrovic, 4 goals in 4 games as well, and he looked a real handful throughout the game as well.
Yeah,
so
he
fair
did.
play to him.
Yeah, he did. I think he bullied Gabriel at times, Mitrovic. But let's move on to the Sunday games. Aston Villa against West Ham at Villa Park. 1-0 to West Ham, which carries on Steven Gerrard's terrible form for Aston Villa. Both of us going 1-1 here, so no points on the board. A very lucky goal for West Ham, again, and in 2 poor sides going up against each other, really.
Yeah, and it was only a deflected effort, really, that won the game from 25 yards from Fornals. And it wasn't, from what I gather, it wasn't the best game at all. Both sides really struggling. It was a weird moment in the first half where Villa had a goal ruled out because the cross from the corner had bent in and out of play, and that was unfortunate for them that goal didn't stand. Obviously it was the right decision, but then obviously West Ham got together and they gathered themselves in the second half and got the goal. But from watching the game and seeing I only saw the highlights, but nothing really scared me about West Ham going to this game, although it probably will give them a confidence boost going into Wednesday. Yeah, but
the form doesn't take any account into anything when West Ham come and play us, or when we go play West Ham. They're going to turn into suddenly prime Real Madrid or something. They always turn up against us, so I'm not really taking into account their form anyway. But let's go into Wolves against Newcastle. We finished 1-1 on the day. Sim went 2-2. I went 1-0 to Newcastle, so 1 point to Sim, 0 points to me. And a game of 2 brilliant goals, really. Ruben Neves started it off with a lovely, lovely finish. We know he can do that. And then in the last minute of the game, Alan St-Maximin with a sensational goal. Really was an unbelievable volley into the far post. And Newcastle actually could have won it at the end as well. After that, they had another really good chance that I think it hit the bar or the post from the corner, exactly. But you got to say, Newcastle probably deserve the win in this one.
I can't say they deserved it. I didn't see too much of it, but yeah, the goals. I mean, Ruben Neves, what a brilliant strike from 20 yards. Then Sir Maximum said, "Whatever you can do, I can do better," and he volleys it in from 25 yards. Oh, I mean, the strike on that. And that's the thing with Sim Maximum. His technique is sometimes absolutely brilliant. And then sometimes he takes a shot in the box and it skews it well wide. And you're like, how's this guy a footballer?
Yeah, Rose Ed.
It's incredible how he can do that. And then I do think that when it comes to Sim Maximum, like, out of the real dribbling speedsters like Adama and Lucas Moura, he's probably got the best shooting technique out of all of them. He just needs to do it on a consistent basis. But two brilliant goals, and I think a point both teams will probably just settle for. I don't think it's a terrible point for either side.
Yeah, I would say on St Maximam, very inconsistent player, but now that's two big moments for him, 2 games in a week. I mean, unbelievable against Man City and winning a point for his team as well on the weekend. So maybe the tide is turning with St Maximam. But last game of the weekend, Nottingham Forest against Tottenham. I mean, we've covered this game to the absolute death. 2-0 to Spurs. Both of us going for 2-0 to Spurs as well. So 5 points each for that. Then, yeah, lovely stuff. And then the star man as well. We both picked Ivan Toney. He didn't get any goals. Did hit the post though, but we don't get any points for that. So
no, we're still starting it.
Yeah, this week ends up on 36.
So close to picking Firmino. So close.
36 to 34 this week ends up on. Let's go through our predictions for this week, this midweek round of Premier League fixtures, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. Starting off with Crystal Palace against Brentford. I've gone for 1-0 to Crystal Palace. I think Brentford... Look, they've both had good starts to the season, but I think Brentford just a bit more fragile than Crystal Palace. They have been conceding quite a few goals, Brentford, this season. Crystal Palace I've been really impressed with, and I think at Selhurst Park, I think they can keep a clean sheet and win 1-0.
Yeah, I went for 1-1 only because I think without Zaha, they might struggle to penetrate Brentford. That's what I'm worried about for them. I think Brentford will be kicking themselves. They didn't capitalise on the chance they made at home to Everton. And I think Brentford are also quite good at set pieces. So I don't think Palace will get the same joy at set pieces they did against Man City. So although I do see them scoring a goal, I don't see Brentford going there and winning. I've just gone there for 1-1.
All right, let's move on to Fulham against Brighton. I've gone for 1-1. You've gone for 1-0.
1-0 to Brighton.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Brighton at the moment controlling games really well. I think with the 3 centre-backs in the team, that should really help dealing with Mitrovic at the back. So I do see them keeping them at bay. And then when it comes to getting a moment, I do think their structure will create chances for them. So I do see them getting 1 goal. So I think they're going to go away at Fulham, and it's going to be a slow, tight game. I just see them edging at 1-0.
Yeah, I've gone for 1-1 because I've been really impressed with Fulham so far this season. Well, not equally, I've been even more impressed with Brighton, to be fair. But at Craven Cottage, I feel like they can take away something from this game. And like you say, I think Mitrovic has been on firing form this season. I think he can get a goal from somewhere, from a set piece even. And I think Brighton will probably do the most work in this game, but I think Fulham can come away with a point, to be honest. Next up is Leeds against Everton. Both of us going for the same score here in 2-1 to Leeds. Leeds have been impressive so far under Jesse March this season. They've picked up where they've left off under the good times under Bielsa, where really pressing from the front, non-stop running as well. Everton, on the other hand, I do actually think since they've moved to 3 at the back with Conor Cody in the middle, they've got slightly better, but I still don't think that will have enough to beat this Leeds side.
Yeah, I think Leeds are full of energy at the moment, especially at Elland Road. They're going to want to make up for not scoring away at Brighton on the weekend, where they had some chances. At home to Everton, the tails are going to be up, and I just think that they're going to overawe Everton, to be honest. Everton did get a good point away at Brentford, but they didn't really deserve it, and I can't see them coming away at Leeds and getting points. So there's a lot of work for Everton to be done for now and the end of the transfer window, but I just see them coming unstuck again.
Same. Let's move on to Southampton against Chelsea at St Mary's. Again, we've gone for the exact same scoreline, 2-1. What's your thinking?
Yeah, I just think that Southampton, although they gave United a good game, I think Chelsea will be buoyed by the fact that they got the win with 10 men at home to Leicester. I'll give them loads of confidence, and I can see them flying out the traps in this one after that. Although Conor Gallagher did get sent off and he was starting centre mid. I don't know if Kovacic is ready and Kante's injured as well. So they're going to be struggling in those departments. So I do see Southampton getting some joy going the other end. But I just think that Chelsea, ultimately, with their quality going forward, should have enough for Southampton. So 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone for 2-1. I mean, Southampton, they've been okay since the first couple of games of the season. They have gradually got better, but I just think this Chelsea side will just have a bit too much for them. Even with the players out injured, they've still got quality on that pitch, and they've still got quality that can bang in the goals. Just look at Raheem Sterling on the weekend getting 2 goals, and I think they'll find 2 from somewhere, but I think Southampton's good enough to get a goal here, so 2-1 to Chelsea. Let's move on to the Emirates and Arsenal against Aston Villa. I've gone for 3-0 to Arsenal. Sim's gone for 2-1 to Arsenal. And I think this game is just going to be one-way traffic, to be honest. Villa have been shocking so far this season. They've been shocking at the back end of last season. But so I can see Arsenal running away with this one.
Yeah, logic says Arsenal should run away, but I think with Gerrard under a lot of pressure, I think they're going to come and really give it their best to try and get something out of this game. So, and I think with their attacking talent, they are likely to get a goal out of somewhere, with likes of Coutinho and Watkins putting pressure on the Arsenal defence. But I think Arsenal are going to be too strong, unfortunately, with the way they're playing and the confidence they have at the moment. They'll go over the line, so 2-1.
Apparently, if Villa lose their next 2 games, this Arsenal game, and I think they got a hard game after this, City as well. Apparently, if they lose these 2 games, it's like their worst form on records or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's under Gerrard. That's unbelievable.
Crazy,
well,
isn't
relegated, it? Can't be.
Well, when you're taking into the back end of last season up until now,
yeah, I think
they're worse form than Neville at Valencia. You know what I mean?
They've only won 3 of their last 16, I think now. The Premier League games. That's nearly half a season.
They probably had better form of that when they did get relegated.
That's nearly half a season there.
Yeah.
That's pretty mad. Gerrard, man, he's under serious pressure.
All right, let's move on to Bournemouth against Wolves. Both gone for the exact same scoreline again here, 2-0 to Wolves. And yeah, I think this one's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Yeah, Bournemouth struggled. I mean, just lost 9-0. I think Wolves are a good team, man. I really like their signings. I like how they're shaping their squad. And although I don't see them challenging the top 6, I do see them getting a lot of wins in and around the mid-table area, especially against relegated sides like this. And I think with Neves, Nunes and Moutinho controlling things in the centre, that front three as well, with Jimenez looking a bit better than he was last season now, I think they'll have control of this game. Bournemouth, I mean, it's going to be hard for me to predict anything but a Bournemouth loss for every game at the moment, but I can't see them kind of holding a glove to Wolves at the moment. They might get some luck with some long balls into Kiefer Moore, but other than that, can't say anything but a Wolves win.
Yeah, but this is like deja vu with Wolves, because I remember we were saying exactly the same things at the start of last season when they couldn't buy a win, but they were playing well. Again, they haven't won in the start of the season, but they're playing well. But they are coming up against probably the worst team in the Premier League in Bournemouth, so I do expect them to get off to finally get their win, first win of the season this midweek. Next up is Manchester City against Nottingham Forest. 4-0 I went for, Sim went for 3-0. And I think with Forest's frailties at the back, I think Man City can really capitalise on that. And I think it's going to be a game as well, tailor-made for Erling Haaland running in behind and stuff like that. So I think Man City are going to walk away with this one.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure Haaland's going to start or not, just because of what Guardiola said last week. But if he does start, obviously, it's going to be super difficult for Forest anyway. Either way, look, Forest, I can see trying to go there and play their own game, and I think they're going to have confidence in themselves. They can cause an upset. I just think it might be a bit naive, and City should come away with it with a 3-0 victory.
All right, let's move on to West Ham against Tottenham in a London derby this midweek at the London Stadium. Sim's gone for 1-0 to Spurs. I've gone for 2-0 to Spurs, and I just think that look, West Ham always play well against us, especially at the London Stadium, but I think with the form that they're showing at the moment and the clinical edge that we're showing at the moment, I think we should, on the balance of the way both teams are going, should win this one 2-0. And I think we've got goals in us, so I think we can score more than one goal here.
Yeah, I just think West Ham, with the fact that it's their their cup final and all that kind of stuff. They're going to be well up for it, and they're gonna try and bully us. It's going to be a very physical game, and we have to be up for the challenge. But I back us too to do it. They've only scored 1 goal this season. It was a deflection from 25 yards, which looped over the keeper. So I'm confident we can keep them out arm's length. And obviously with our talent, I think we'll get a goal. And it could even be from a set piece. You never know what it might be. But I've gone for a very close 1-0 victory, very nervy win.
All right, let's move on to Anfield. A big game this midweek. Liverpool against Newcastle. Sim's gone for 2-2. I've gone for 1-1. I've gone for 1-1 because just the way Newcastle have started this season, the way they ended off last season, they're on really good form, really tough side to beat. Liverpool, even though they won 9-0 this weekend, it was against Bournemouth, so they really have, in my opinion, they haven't kick-started their season yet, even though they did just win 9-0. I think it's going to be a very difficult game for Liverpool, especially with a lot of their midfielders out. I think Newcastle could take advantage of that. I was even suggesting a Newcastle win here, 2-1 to Newcastle, but I've gone a bit more safer for 1-1.
I think on the back of a 9-0 win, they should come into this game fully believing that they're going to be back to their best soon. But Newcastle, you saw the way they played against City and how they attacked City when there was space left for them, for the likes of, say, Maximum and that kind of stuff. So I can see them giving Liverpool a lot of trouble, especially with how Bruno Guimaraes should start the season. I don't know if Alexander Isak's going to be in the squad for this one. If he is, he could be a very dangerous player up against Liverpool. But Liverpool, even though they haven't played the best, I can still see them with their talent getting on the score sheet a couple of times and then getting a draw. So 2-2.
Leicester against Manchester United at the King Power. Both of us gone for the exact same scoreline again here, 2-1 to Manchester United. And I think that with Leicester, they're just so poor at the back. They really are. And I think with the Man United attack, with Bruno Fernandes, Christian Eriksen, Marcus Rashford, and the rest of them, they are slightly getting better game on game, I believe, Man United. So I don't think Leicester are going to be able to snatch anything from this game. Yeah,
I think Leicester will give it a good go. I think, look, Rodgers at the moment, we've spoken about how he's struggling. And I think he'll... with Maddison and Maddison there, and I don't know if he's fit actually because he wasn't playing on the weekend, but they'll want a reaction to how they didn't get a point against Chelsea. So I can see them causing a few problems to Man United, but I think they might be a bit naive in their approach, and I think that should leave space for Man United to exploit, and I can see them coming away with it with a 2-1 victory. That's why I've gone for it.
All right, and that is our predictions. Let's move over to Star Man, and we've got a Man City head-to-head this week, and Ilkay Gundogan against Kevin De Bruyne, which is very interesting. I was toying with either Bernardo Silva or Kevin De Bruyne. I stuck with Kevin De Bruyne. I think that he's always good for a goal and an assist. So
yeah, that's fair enough. Gundogan, I think, didn't start on the weekend, so I know he's scored a couple of goals, I think, already this season. I see him potentially being the one to break the deadlock against Forest, so I've gone for Gundogan.
All right, interesting. Let us know, guys, your Premier League predictions in the comment section below. Let us know who you think is going to come out on top this week in Predictive Prem between me and Sim. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.